One's ready. Go!
So you guys are going into special warfare assessment selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter with practicing running? Practicing.
Right? I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I can run the Keysler just like this.
All the way to ATC and never quit!
All the way to ATC and never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. You're in the team room. This is your daily drop for the 18th of November. Listen, it's been a while, right? Because the government shut down and news wasn't flowing very much. And as you can imagine, things were just chaotic at best. So we'll try and bring this back and reinvigorate, if I can even say that right, and get back to giving you guys what you want, hopefully. But again, you get what you pay for, which is nothing. So it is what it is. We do still have slots available for the Las Vegas Operator Training Summit that is happening 20 and 21 December. You would arrive the 19th of December, and then you can depart the evening of the 21st or even on the 22nd. If you got to leave early, that's fine too. Mentioned it before. This is for anybody. You can be any fitness level. You don't have to be active duty. You can be high school. You can be, under 18. You just got to get parents' permission. These are for anybody that are going into Air Force Special Warfare, SEALs, BUDS, SWIC, Rangers, Green Berets, or you just want to learn from incredible coaches like Taylor Starch and, not just Taylor Starch, but Chris Thomas and Aaron Love and Trent Siegmiller, all the crew, if you will. And we will have more coming up. You guys should check out operatortrainingsummit.com to get registered for the Vegas OTS. And then once I solidify the other ones, I will put them up there, but we are trying to align them with each ship date in 2026 to help better prepare you. And we're trying to get them like a month before you would actually ship. That way you can spend the next month really dialing in your training. And the whole point of these are not smoke sessions, right? They are training events that we will dive into all the techniques and efficiency and anything like that that you need to make sure that you're getting across the pool in 4 strokes versus 12, that kind of thing. Also, check out tastygains.com. They've got creatine gummies, pre-workout gummies. They've got hydration stuff. They've even got stuff specific for women. There's no promo code for anything like that. Just head over to tastygains.com. And then if there is an option, maybe you let them know that we sent you. But yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to try and cruise through this because what I've done is I've set these dates. So this ranges from kind of the last week, basically. So we'll start with the Army. The Janus program advances for nuclear energy. That is Janus, Janus program. The United States Army announced next steps in the Janus program, selecting 9 installations for potential micro-reactor power plants to enhance energy resilience. The Defense Innovation Unit solicited commercial solutions for advanced nuclear technologies, and this aims to provide reliable, clean power for military operations. We've actually talked about this before. The Air Force is trying to do the same thing with one of the bases. I think we need to do it with more than just one base, but at least it's one of the bases up in Alaska to try and get them off being energy dependent from the grid. And let's be real, that makes sense. Why wouldn't you want a military installation off the grid and be able to power itself instead of, relying on private companies? That's what it is. Like if you look at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada, Nevada Energy supplies the base. Like, what happens if there's some kind of attack on their facility, you know? So, next is counter drone and interagency collaboration. The Secretary of the Army and the Joint Interagency Task Force 401 hosted a meeting at the White House to strengthen government-wide efforts against small, uncrewed aircraft system threats. Leaders emphasized the need for unified action to counter evolving drone technology. This addresses both battlefield and homeland defense imperatives. Onto the Navy. USS Pierre commissioning. The United States Navy commissioned the USS Pierre, which is a littoral combat ship. Let's see, and it is the final Independence variant of the littoral combat ship. The vessel enhances maritime security and forward presence. This marks a milestone in naval shipbuilding. Wonder what that looks like. Have to check that out. Next, carrier group exercise with Republic of Korea. Sailors from the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Mobile Unit 5 and Republic of Korea Navy participated in fast rope exercises aboard the USS George Washington during Carrier Strike Group Exercise 2025. The bilateral drill strengthens interoperability and commitment to a free Indo-Pacific. This builds on allied naval capabilities. Next, firefighting drills on the USS Gerald R. Ford. Sailors aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford fought simulated fires during general quarters drills. The training emphasizes that every sailor contributes to damage control. This maintains operational readiness on the world's largest aircraft carrier. Well, of course, I mean, it's a floating city and a floating military base. All hands on deck at that point if there's a fire, because you got to maintain operations. And also, the thing about kind of saving yourself, because you're out there in the middle of the ocean, nobody else is coming to save you. You got to save yourself. I mean, that whole thing, like whatever. All right, next, the USS Jason Dunham returns from deployment. The USS Jason Dunham returned to Mayport after a 91-day surge deployment to the U.S. 4th Fleet area. The crew completed mission supporting regional stability, and this highlights the Navy's role in the hemispheric security. Hemispheric. Did you guys hear that? Wow. I actually said it correctly. All right, Marine Corps, disaster relief in the Philippines. Marines from Marine Rotation Forces Southeast Asia and Armed Forces of the Philippines unloaded relief supplies in Verac following typhoons. Oh, okay. I was feeling good. Now I'm not. Kalmegi and Fengwang were the name of the typhoons. The operation provides aids to affected communities at the Philippine government's request. This demonstrates rapid humanitarian response. And I'll tell you what, man, once you get a area that's hit by typhoons, hurricanes, earthquakes, flooding, that kind of stuff, and you get able-bodied people with machinery and helicopters and just willing to do work and help out other humans, like, it's a pretty magical thing and it's pretty awesome to see. There's a lot to be said for dude power. All right. Marines 250th birthday force run. Marines with Chemical Biological Incident Response Force ran 250 miles over 3 days to celebrate the Marine Corps' 250th birthday, culminating in a formation run. The event honors service and builds unit cohesion. This reflects enduring commitment to excellence. Congratulations and happy birthday, guys. Weapons and Tactics Instructor Course exercise. The MV-22 Bravo Ospreys from Marine Aviation Weapons and Tactics Squadron 1, or MOTS 1, participated in the final exercise of Weapons and Tactics Instructor Course 1 TAC 26 at Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, 29 Palms. The training integrates aviation functions for Marine Air Ground Task Force Support, MAGTAF, that enhances joint and coalition operations. Whew, man. All right, next, Netflix series Marines was released. It's a 4-part Netflix series titled Marines, and it premiered, and it featured the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, deployment and training. The first-person narrative highlights crisis response capabilities, and a special screening honored participants on Veterans Day. I have not seen that yet, but may have to check that out. All right, Air Force. New Chief of Staff assumption, General Kenneth Wielsbach was sworn in as the 24th Chief of Staff of the Air Force. His assumption of responsibility ceremony highlights leadership transition and ensures continued focus on the air power dominance. And then I'm going to go ahead and say it again. I called it. The next Chief Master of the Air Force is Dave Wolf, who was General Wielsbach's senior enlisted leader at Air Combat Command, and then at, I think it was Pacific Air Force or PACAF. They've been together as a command team for the last couple assignments. So I knew that was going to happen. And that kind of makes sense because they already know how each other operates and they know each other very well. So they complement each other. All right, next, NATO. Oh, and good luck to both of you. NATO air policing operations. The Air Force conducted NATO air policing missions, maintaining vigilance in Allied airspace. Operations involved rapid response to potential threats. This supports collective defense commitments. All right, Space Force. Space Force releases Vector 2025 strategic document. The United States Space Force published Vector 2025 as a unified reference for Guardians that outlines the service's direction. As it matures, the document emphasizes operationally focused Space Forces, resilient architectures, rapid acquisition, and closer integration with combatant commands and commercial partners. Now, I got to tell you, talking to some of my Space Force homies, they were pretty disappointed in this Vector 2025. Now, I personally haven't read it, but the Guardians that I do know that I work with, who are very knowledgeable and incredibly smart, I kind of take their word for it, but at the same time, having not read it for myself, I can't tell you what. What I can tell you, though, is that the Space Force has been struggling since its inception with determining what their enlisted force does versus what their officers do versus what their civilians do versus what their contractors do. Because the way that they're task organized right now is they all do the same exact thing. And I know I'm generally speaking, right? But you can have an E4 sitting right next to an O3, sitting right next to a GS13, sitting next to a contractor, and they all do the same exact thing. They are all those technicians and experts. But who's in charge, right? And who's the lead, and who has authorities, and who's developing that enlisted person, who's developing that officer. That kind of thing is what this was supposed to get after, but I don't know if it hit the mark or not. All right, next, Space Systems Command stands up positioning, navigation, and timing system Delta. Space Systems Command created a new system Delta to consolidate military communications and positioning, navigation, and timing programs under a single portfolio. The change is intended to synchronize acquisition for critical space-based services and better align with the combatant command requirements in an increasingly contested space domain. Yes, space is scary, and it is definitely getting more and more contested. Dude, to the point that it is fucking scary. It is scary what is going on in space right now and I'm not even talking about 3i Atlas or aliens and stuff like that. I'm just talking about what great power countries are actually doing out in space. It's wild. All right, next, New Glenn continues certification for national security space launches. Space Systems Command reported progress in certifying Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket for national security space launch missions following a demonstration flight that collected required performance data. The certification effort is framed as expanding assured access to space and leveraging commercial heavy lift capacity for future Space Force payloads. Congratulations to Blue Origin for getting their rocket up there and then landing it back. It's awesome. Hey, listen, I've been a massive proponent for SpaceX. I will always champion SpaceX, but I also agree with competition, and guess what? So does Elon Musk. He likes competition too, because it brings out the best in all of us whenever you have to compete for things. So this is a good thing. All right, next, Coast Guard record drug seizes in FY25. The United States Coast Guard seized over 500,000 pounds of cocaine in the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean, valued at $3.8 billion. Whew, that's big boy money. This historic haul prevents 193 million lethal doses from reaching the U.S. streets. Operations like Pacific Viper, that's a badass name, underscore counter narco-terrorism efforts. Recruiting milestone achieved. The Coast Guard exceeded recruiting goals with over 5,900 enlisted members, which is the best since 1991. And they also met their officer targets. This supports Force Design 2028 to expand by up to 15,000 personnel. Investments enhance agility and responsiveness. Heavy weather boat contract was awarded. A $70.9 million contract was awarded for up to 6 second-generation special-purpose craft heavy weather boats. Okay, so let me finish this. These 64-foot vessels replace aging fleets and handle extreme conditions. This modernizes capabilities for search and rescue. Dude, you guys can keep that shit. There is, as fun as much as I love being in some crazy ass weather and some crazy ass seas, you start talking about, hey, we need special purpose craft as heavy weather boats. No, thank you. Nope, I'm good. You can keep it. Next, counter UAS capabilities expansion. Over $150 million in counter uncrewed aircraft systems technology was ordered to detect and mitigate drone threats. This bolsters maritime domain security, preparation support events like the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's right, that is coming up. All right, next. Let's see if I've got time to do this real quick. All right, yeah, it looks like I've got time. All right, Secretary of Defense Acquisition Reform Strategy unveiled. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, released a memorandum on defense acquisition reform prioritizing speed over cost. The strategy includes an implementation framework for the Pentagon's weapons buyer. This aims to accelerate programs and enhance accountability. Next series of department reforms announced. Secretary Hegseth announced 10 new directives to strengthen the Department of War's people and culture. This includes restoring order and discipline through balanced accountability. Reforms address leadership and operational efficiency. Next, leaked memo on sweeping reforms. A leaked Pentagon memo outlined major acquisition reforms to modernize innovation and hold contractors accountable. Experts noted promise and risk in the proposals. This supports faster adaptation of threats. All right, next is the president's stuff. All right, military flyover, a Saudi crown prince visit. The U.S. military jets flew over the White House as President Donald Trump welcomed Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. The event highlighted strengthened bilateral ties. Discussion focused on security cooperation. And I can tell you what, if you paid attention to anything on social media, it was like the world was ending. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't really care one way or the other. Or I have no dog in the fight and I don't know all the details about it. I do know that I'm not a massive fan of how we're cozying up to Saudi. However, like, to MBS's credit, they are trying to bring the Saudi nation into 2025, 2026. So, maybe they've, you've got to have a path of redemption, right? Maybe you don't have to, but a path of redemption is kind of what people like. And maybe this is their path of redemption, is trying to get out of their old archaic ways. So I don't know. All right, next, remarks on keeping DEI out of the military. President Trump emphasized removing diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives from the military. This aligns with promises to prioritize warfighting focus. The directive aims to enhance readiness. This is nothing new. It's no change or anything like that. All right, next. Oh, no, that's it, actually. So, man, before I started recording this, I did see that Speaker Johnson said that the Epstein files cannot be released unredacted because it would give away, CIA and NIA, National Intelligence Agency, methods and means and people and identities. And so what does that tell me? That just tells me that our government agencies like the CIA and IA, probably the FBI, are involved in human trafficking. Like that's what that tells me. And, you know, we've had a guest on before, Morgan, who is part of Blackwater, who said, hey man, this company, X company is doing this. And you know what? That reminds me, I need to ping him and see about getting him back on to talk about it. Like, this is crazy that we're human trafficking. It's nuts. Anyway, Epstein didn't kill himself, and appreciate you guys joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We appreciate you being here. See you.